Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. Todd Battis is on assignment tonight. It's Wednesday, the 17th of December. This is CTV News. Tonight, surviving a catastrophic collision. A maritime couple slam into a moose on a regional highway. A closer look. Halifax mayor wants auditors general to review the water utility.
Well, it's nice to have some sunshine tomorrow because on Friday we have a round of rain and wind moving in.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. A St. John woman is recovering in hospital after her vehicle hit a moose on the highway earlier this month. This happened on Route 7 between St. John and Oromocto. It's a stretch of road that is mostly covered with wildlife fencing. CTV's Avery McCrae has our top story.
It just happened really fast.
Zachary Legacy has driven the stretch of Route 7 between Oromocto and St. John more times than he can count. While there are plenty of warnings along the highway, he has never seen a moose in the area until the night of December 5th when he was traveling with his girlfriend Courtney.
We were maybe 10 minutes up the road where the 2-lane ends into the 1 lane. The moose hit and it took off most of the roof, and then it fell onto the hood of the car, and I believe the back legs were kind of hanging off, but the front legs were in, and it was kicking. So I put myself in front of her, so I got some bruises on my arm.
Route 7 is lined with fencing along both sides for most of the highway to keep animals off the road. But according to Legacy, the day before the accident, a car had taken out a section of the fence.
I can't explain the emotions I felt, the panic, almost like I thought she was dead.
The two were rushed to the St. John Regional Hospital. Legacy was quickly cleared after walking away from the crash with minor injuries, but Courtney had suffered a traumatic brain injury and fractures to her jaw.
I was so grateful. I was thanking God. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself if she passed away.
In the days following the accident, Courtney has progressed and has moved from the ICU and is beginning her long road to recovery.
There was a point last night where I was leaning down next to her, and she crawled over as close as she could to me and held my hand and put her face against my hand and just smiled. So I see little glimpses of Courtney coming back, and that brings me a lot of hope and joy.
Following the accident, the community has shown support for the couple. A GoFundMe has raised nearly $15,000. That support and the help from the people who stopped along the highway the night of the accident have overwhelmed Legacy.
Flabbergasted, I guess that's a good word for it, by the amount of people that have shown support.
Support that will be needed as Courtney continues to heal. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Drivers in Nova Scotia can expect significantly more road work in the years ahead. The province's 5-year highway plan promises more divided roads and some upgrades to well-used routes. CTV's Jesse Thomas has details.
Nova Scotia will spend $465 million on major highway and road construction projects next year, while almost $268 million of that will be spent on design work, road improvements, bridge rehabilitation, and land and equipment purchasing and ferry services. Public Works Minister Fred Tilley says the spending is aimed at safety, reliability, and keeping the economy moving.
Road building industry in Nova Scotia creates more than 6,000 direct and 3,000 indirect jobs, having a great effect on our economy.
But it's more than economic prosperity. It's fixing connectivity problems and improving road safety. There are more than 160 projects planned over the next year, including more highway twinning on the 101 in Kings County, the 103 in Lunenburg County that'll extend the divided highway to Chester Basin, and the 104 in Antigonish County, and the 107 from Burnside to Lake Loon. Other major projects include rehabilitation of the Seal Island Bridge and upgrades to the Tancook Ferry. But there's 2 major construction projects not on the list, including rehabilitation work for the 2 Halifax Harbour bridges, which Tilley guesses will be managed outside of this 5-year plan.
That's yet to be determined as we go through our budget processes. But I maybe wouldn't expect to see it under the 5-year plan for sure.
Not on the list is the Chignecto Isthmus, a vulnerable section of highway that connects Nova Scotia to New Brunswick, which is at risk from flooding by rising sea levels and storms.
Well, it's not a highway per se, so it would not fall within the 5-year highway plan, but there's certainly work being done on that currently.
The province is staring down a $1.2 billion deficit this year, but Tilley said that doesn't impact the work within the 5-year highway plan. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
And just a reminder, for more on that story and anything you're seeing tonight, feel free to visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. New Brunswick's largest health authority is trying to head off a holiday surge before it starts. Most of its hospitals are already well over capacity, so officials are taking steps to ease the backlog and keep things moving. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
It's a much different kind of holiday rush. New Brunswick hospitals are preparing for a flood of people looking for care and hoping it never comes.
We are as prepared as we can be.
Horizon Health has launched what it calls its surge plan early, increasing staff on certain shifts, ensuring ambulances are offloaded, and maintaining patient flow from emergency room to a unit as quickly as possible. But CEO Margaret Melanson acknowledges the situation heading into the holidays is already tough.
Almost 40% of our acute care beds across Horizon are occupied by patients who have been medically discharged. This means that many of our hospitals, including all of our regional hospitals, are operating above capacity, with patients being cared for in hallways, storage rooms, and other non-traditional clinical spaces.
Across its hospitals, there are about 160 patients being treated in those spaces. Melanson says the system needs more long-term care beds and better home care services.
And social development has had a really tough time moving the bar on that. So it does argue for what many of the seniors groups are calling for and the service providers, and that is a separate department for seniors and long-term care that can focus like a laser beam on solving these problems.
A focus for the new year, perhaps. For the next few weeks, Melanson is hoping people who have non-urgent needs look to pharmacies, walk-in clinics, and the virtual care system called eVisit, especially as emergency departments are starting to fill with people with respiratory illnesses.
However, if someone really has an urgent medical situation, they still need to come.
The Moncton Hospital currently has some of the highest estimated ER wait times in the province, between 7 and 15 hours, according to the province's health system data. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
As Halifax water customers absorb the news, they'll be paying more next year. The city's Auditor General is considering the scope and the timeline of an audit into the utility. The mayor requested that from both the municipal and provincial AGs, citing a slew of issues he wants examined more closely. CTV's Callum Smith has more.
I'm pretty confident it will mean several thousand more.
While it's not clear how big Halifax Water's rate increase will be, Garrison Brewing is bracing for impact to its yearly costs. The utility sought a combined 35.6% hike over the next 3 months, starting January 1st.
My costs keep going up, but can you imagine if I just said, well, I'll just make my beer 1/3 more expensive next year and everybody will be okay? No, everybody will not be okay, and that would not be acceptable.
He says water went from being an afterthought to now rivaling power and natural gas bills.
That is such an exorbitant increase in 1 year that it should be a non-starter.
This real estate agent worries about the domino effect of rate hike proposals from Halifax Water, Nova Scotia Power, property taxes, and insurance costs. Halifax Water citing inflation, cost increases, and debt interest rates, and growth challenges with aging infrastructure.
If you look at it like a homeowner, if they left their deferred maintenance, of course it's going to be a sticker shock. Why didn't Halifax Water look at that on a continual basis?
The provincial regulator deferred $24.5 million sought for deficit recovery in the April 1st increase to later years.
We're ultimately going to have to pay for it at the end of the day.
Residential customers would have paid $335 more each year if the initial ask was approved, but the new number hasn't been set yet.
How much of that goes back to mismanagement? Let's identify that problem first.
but others say it could be worth it.
I'm generally not against that if it's going to help stabilize the water supply system.
Halifax Water has 1 week to present a new proposal to the regulatory board. Meanwhile, Halifax's Auditor General says at the request of the mayor, he's considering the scope, timeline, and capacity for an audit of the utility, and that conversations on a broader audit were already underway. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Here's a live look at downtown Halifax, where it's currently quite a comfortable 5 degrees at the moment. We'll get our first look at the forecast now with Kaylin. Beyond the wind, very few complaints about the weather around here today.
Yeah, well, I mean, temperatures made it onto the plus side of the scale, so that's always, sometimes for some, a nice little treat in through the month of December.
For sure.
We're sitting above freezing right now across a large portion of the Maritimes. There are a few exceptions. It's a little bit chillier already through northern and western areas of New Brunswick, where communities such as Woodstock and Edmundston are sitting at around -2, and near Charlotte right now at around -1. We do have some colder temperatures coming up tonight for the Maritimes, as there is a cold front that is coming across the region. In fact, along that front, there's a band of some light snow and flurries that's making its way across parts of New Brunswick, and there will be a chance of some isolated flurries or showers for areas of Nova Scotia tonight, and even a low chance of a flurry or shower for Prince Edward Island. As far as accumulations go in that band of snow and flurries, not a lot is expected, maybe up to around a few centimeters in some areas. Otherwise, for tonight, we do have low temperatures in the province of New Brunswick that are expected to fall a few to several degrees below the freezing mark, except colder up towards the northwest. Edmundston, Grand Falls, up towards Campbellton, Dalhousie, some lows between -10 and -13. Falling a few degrees below zero tonight for Prince Edward Island, and between -2 and +2 for Nova Scotia. The highs in the forecast tomorrow for northern New Brunswick between 0 and 3 degrees, with central and southern parts of the province with high temperatures between 2 and 6. For Prince Edward Island, high temperatures on Thursday will be around the low single digits, and in Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures tomorrow are expected to be around the low to mid single digits, including 1 to 4 degrees in the east of the province, with northern and central areas of Nova Scotia with high temperatures between 4 and 6. And for the Annapolis Valley and southwest of Nova Scotia, the high temperatures between 5 and 7 degrees. And again, a lot of sunshine tomorrow, Bruce. Quite pleasant. Conditions then change, of course, for Friday, turning stormier for the region. Rain, strong winds. I'll talk more about that when I'm back later on.
All right. Thank you, sir. Full forecast coming up in about 15 minutes, as a matter of fact. Well, for the first time, a PWHL game will be played in Nova Scotia tonight as part of the league's takeover series. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis is live for us tonight at Scotiabank Centre. John, how's it going down there?
Well, Bruce, we saw fans lining up here early this afternoon for this game between the Toronto Scepters and the Montreal Victoire on the Scotiabank ice here behind me, Bruce. You can hear them, I believe, testing the PA system, so I apologize for any audio interruptions. This game, Bruce, is actually a bit of a homecoming for some players and staff on both teams. We've got Blair Turnbull from Stellarton on the Toronto side, as well as Ali Monroe of Yarmouth. The Scepters are coached by Spryfield's Troy Ryan. Drawing up the plays on the opposite bench will be Corey Chevry from New Glasgow. There's a feeling, Bruce, that these neutral site games are a way of testing cities for possible expansion. Fans I spoke with who lined up here earlier today to make sure they got a good view of the players think a team here would be a huge success.
Wonderfully. I think it's wonderful. Women's hockey is growing around the province. We just built the Women's League in the Valley as well. Yeah. First year we had 5 teams. We're looking for more. I think the PWHL is growing the sport all around the world.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? So I think Nova Scotians would support that for sure.
Yeah, Halifax definitely needs a team.
And Bruce, with the type of response we saw outside earlier today, Halifax is certainly looking good. Now, this is one of 16 neutral site games the PWHL is putting on as part of their takeover series. The next one will be here January 11th, Bruce, between Ottawa and Boston. And what should be a nice tilt as we're getting ready for this one here behind me tonight. Face-off here, Bruce, is about 7:30.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis reporting live from the Scotiabank Centre in downtown Halifax tonight. This is also the focus of our CTV News web poll this evening. We're asking, would you like to see a PWHL team here in the Maritimes? Yes or no? Doesn't matter to me. The poll can be found at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. People in a New Brunswick community who are concerned about a proposed power plant will get to listen but not speak tonight as NB Power hosts an information session. CTV's Derek Haggett joins us now with more. Derek.
Bruce, there will be a special meeting held tonight by Tantramar Council where a representative from NB Power will do a presentation and information session on a proposed natural gas plant to be built by an American company not far from here. Council members will have a chance to ask questions about the proposed 500 megawatt plant to be built in a rural area around 15 minutes from Sackville. The $1 billion project is an electricity grid support facility that will provide power that the provincial government says is very much needed. But many people here have been very vocal over the past few months about the decision to put a plant in Tantramar. There are environmental and noise concerns and fear of what impact the plant might have on the ecosystem in the Chignecto Isthmus. Last week, Premier Susan Holt said she's aware of those concerns, but the Sackville area is the best location for the plant, she said.
I can appreciate and I feel the same that this is not an ideal site, but it doesn't appear that there is an ideal site, and that's the piece, is that as we've been turning over stones and spaces, I haven't found the next better option yet.
Tantramar Council passed a motion on December 9 expressing opposition to the project. If it does go ahead as planned, the facility is expected to begin operation by the end of 2028. Should mention, while anyone from the community is welcome to attend the meeting, there will be no public question period tonight. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, Derek. CTV's Derek Haggett reporting from Sackville, New Brunswick tonight. All right, still to come this evening, scattered flurries and a few showers tonight. Kaylin will have those details coming up, and we'll chat with Canada's food professor about the top food stories of 2025. Coming up next, though, rising from the ground.
This year, we're well on track to hit our 320 new affordable housing unit target in the province.
New development emerging in St. John, and cash has been set aside to make sure some of it is affordable. Details are next. Stay with us.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Uptown St. John's big hole in the ground is moving on from that dubious label. New development at the head of King Street has been continuously getting higher over the last few weeks. And today there was confirmation of millions of dollars in government funding to ensure it includes some affordable housing. Here's CTV's Nick Moore.
The storied history at the top of King Street in St. John is being built upon once again.
We're finally out of the ground, which is a big milestone.
Percy Wilbur is a developer at 99 King, next to the St. John City Market and across the street from King Square. After months of groundwork, precast panels for the 12-story building began going up a few weeks ago.
So it's very visual, and you see a lot of the construction taking place, which appears to be finished, but it's all the interior work that's yet to be done.
Today, the federal government announced $46 million in low-cost loans for 152 housing units in the building. The provincial government is providing $2.2 million, and the city is putting in $310,000. 32 units will be made available to seniors and people with disabilities as affordable housing.
These are people coming directly off our affordable housing waitlist. 32 new units, they're geared to income, so 30% of the person's net income is what they will pay in rent.
There are about 13,000 people on the province's affordable housing waitlist.
This year, we're well on track to hit our 320 new affordable housing unit target in the province.
99 King was a one-time home to Woolworth's department store until the early 90s. The building came down to make way for this development in 2021, but it sat empty for a few years with redesigns forced by growing costs, labor shortages, and supply chain issues. Wilbur says the spirit of the building remains.
We've got retail space on the ground floors. We've got two underground parking floors.
Residents are supposed to move in by next fall. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
Thank you, Nick. Coming up, a sunny and pleasant Thursday ahead. You're going to want to know that. Kaylin's full forecast is on deck. Stay with us. A little bit of blue sky and much milder this afternoon over the legislature in downtown Fredericton. You had told us earlier that we could expect a lot of the snow to disappear very quickly, but I was stunned at how quickly it disappeared around my house. I mean, we were about 30 centimeters and mostly green when I left.
So, of course, that's not the situation across the entirety of the Maritimes.
No,
just for those areas that didn't see as much snow over the past couple of weeks, including in around the Halifax area. But yeah, it doesn't take long. You get into the southwest wind, you get the milder temperatures, you get the sun breaking through a little bit, and melts away.
And more tomorrow, you say?
That's right. So before we get to tomorrow's forecast, though, we're going to start off by talking a little bit about a major storm system that's making its way across the country.
Yeah, my relative's talking about that right now.
Yeah, this one's causing a lot of trouble already in through the prairies. There's reports of an accident on the number 2 between Calgary and Airdrie in southern Alberta. Maybe up to 80 to 100 cars involved in that accident and the closure of the highway. And this storm system is expected to go on and bring blizzard conditions across southern areas of Saskatchewan as well as Manitoba before bringing a very heavy snowfall to parts of northern Ontario and into northern Quebec. And the reason why it's really impacting those areas of the country with that significant snow and the high winds and the blowing snow and the poor visibility is because that part actually remains on the northern edge of that low pressure system, so remaining in the cold air. And that's why they basically see a big time snow event from it. Now for us here in the Maritimes, the path of this storm will take it up through the St. Lawrence River Valley. So that puts us on the warmer eastern side of it. And there's going to be a big draw of some very mild air up the eastern seaboard and flush into the region. Now, that being said, we do have our own weather concerns with this storm system, including the potential for rain and some very strong winds coming up on Friday, and more on that in just a moment. Here's a look, though, at the band of snow it's expected to bring across the country. So you can see right down through the prairies and then into northern Ontario and up towards northern Quebec. Snow looks like it might be especially heavy in the area from around Lake Nipigon in Ontario up towards the southern part of James Bay. Potential for maybe 30 to 60 centimeters of snow in some areas. That'd be like 1 to 2 feet. Taking a look at our timeline for Friday. So this is for Friday. This is when the rainy and windy weather is going to develop. Early in the morning, it looks okay. But by the afternoon, the rain is going to start to move into New Brunswick and southwestern Nova Scotia. And then by Friday evening and Friday night, we're really into this inclement weather. It's rain, heavy at times for some areas. Very high and gusty winds out of the south. In fact, there's a potential that some of the wind gusts could get up between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour, almost certainly stronger than that for northern Inverness County in Cape Breton Friday night into early Saturday morning because of the topography of the Cape Breton highlands. Overall rainfall amounts of this weather system look like they'll be in the range for around 15 to 40 millimeters. But remember, there may be additional water runoff because of melting snow and ice. If you have a chance, you could check any of your drainage systems around your property, make sure they're free and clear of any snow or ice where you can. That might help improve dealing with that runoff. And keep those strong winds in mind for any holiday decorations that you may have out. You might want to secure those, and there will be some disruptions to the ferry travel services as that storm system moves through. So special weather statements in effect right now for southern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia, just giving everybody an early heads up about that round of weather headed in our direction. In the forecast for tonight for low temperatures around the Maritimes, it's going to be cold across the northern half of New Brunswick, where some lows will fall into the range around -6 to -13. Other parts of the region tonight looking at low temperatures ranging from a few degrees below to a few degrees above the freezing mark. High temperatures in the forecast for Thursday will be between 0 and 6 degrees for New Brunswick, up to around +2 for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island, and mostly between 2 and 7 for Nova Scotia. For New Brunswick in the 7-day forecast, it's going to be rainy and windy on Friday. On Saturday after that, it's a chance of flurries. Flurries in the forecast for Sunday, followed by more flurries for Monday of next week. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud, and the possibility of flurries on Wednesday. For Nova Scotia and the outlook coming up on Friday, it's that rain and wind developing throughout the day, and then flurries in the forecast for Saturday. A mixture of flurries and showers on Sunday, followed by flurries in the forecast for Monday, mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, and then a mixture of flurries and showers on Wednesday of next week. And for Prince Edward Island, we've got rain and wind developing on Friday, followed by a chance of flurries on Saturday. Flurries in the forecast on both Sunday and Monday, mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, and flurries on Wednesday. Bruce.
All right, thank you, sir. Wake up weather still to come tonight. Coming up next, we'll chat with Sylvain Charlebois about the top 10 food-related stories of 2025. And we have this story coming up.
Hi, it's Rini, and Rini's Family Christmas is this Friday at Monty's. I'll tell you a lot about it coming up soon.
Move! More News with Aaron and Peter.
What word does your partner overuse? They gotta stop tomorrow at 6.
And tomorrow's your last day to get keywords to win $20,000. We'll give it away on Friday.
Call it a sign of the times that food has become a newsworthy topic. In simpler, less expensive times, you might read a feature or two in the lifestyle pages of your favorite website. But these days, food-related stories have a real impact on our lives or reveal something that we didn't know or frankly hadn't thought about. Such is the case with the top 10 food stories of the year as compiled by our friends at the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. And naturally, we are delighted to welcome the Senior Director of the organization, Professor Sylvain Charlebois. Always great to see you, Sylvain. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Bruce. This is our annual ritual.
It is.
We do this every year.
We do. You provided a great list here as always, and I'd like to cover it all. So we'll start with number 10. This is something you called Crown Royal Theatrics.
Yes, it happened in Ontario. If you remember, Premier Doug Ford poured a bottle of Crown Royal, and it lasted about 20 years because the stopper was in there. You remember. But his point was, oh my goodness, Diageo, the company, was leaving Canada.
Bottle, and I don't even drink of Crown Oil, right?
And you have the disappearance of some iconic Canadian.
So this is what I think about
exactly.
Crown Oil. That's what they
and
do.
so.
And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
He was asking people to dump a product made by unionized workers in Manitoba and Quebec.
Yeah.
And he didn't say it. And so he was upset, which is fine as a premier, because the Windsor bottling plant was closing. But in actuality, the bottle, if you're drinking Crown Royal, it's still made in Canada, and it's going to continue to be made in Canada. So lots of theatrics, little explanation, for sure.
Okay, so we mentioned the candies and the chocolate bars at number 9. Number 8 was the Buy Canadian and maple washing phenomenon, as you called it.
Absolutely, lots of attention. Of course, we walked in the grocery store, and it felt like Canada Day every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you had maple leaves like everywhere. But what came after was a bit disturbing with the maple washing going on. I mean, even in August, September, we were noticing that some almonds were Canadian, oranges were Canadian.
Sure. Canadian olives, etc.
Exactly,
yeah,
and prices were inflated as a result, and there were many cases in the Atlantic actually. So it made a lot of people upset, and so that was certainly that was a newsworthy item that made the list this year.
Meat counter economics, you said, came in at number 7.
Every year, there's at least one piece, one component of the meat trifecta that goes up in price, and last year was beef. But this year was everything. Everything is more expensive. Beef, chicken, pork. To be honest, right now, the good news is that the cheapest meat out there is turkey, just 1 week before the holidays. So that's the good news there.
Number 6 was the GST holiday. Got a huge reaction, sparked a big debate about, well, we should make this permanent.
It happened this year. Do you remember?
Vaguely. It seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
A year ago, our food inflation rate was at minus 0.6% because of the GST holiday. So there's a lot of talk right now. You know, a lot of groups are suggesting maybe, just maybe, taxing food is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And I agree with them, absolutely. Both retail and in service, and a lot of Nova Scotians, a lot of people in the Atlantic took advantage of the GST holiday.
For sure. You listed GLP-1s transforming food demand as number 5.
I got to tell you, I mean, it made the list last year, made the list this year again. Why? Because, I mean, you talk to snacking companies, you talk to any food company, they see it in revenues. People are drinking less, they're eating less, they're looking for protein. It's changing a lot of things in the food industry. Now, I don't want to comment on whether or not this is good for people. We're just looking at how it's impacting the food industry, and it is impacting the food industry. And starting in January, generic GLP-1s will be available third of the price.
Wow. Cloned meat, you called it a disaster at number 4.
Health Canada did not look good on this one. They were about to approve cloned meat without telling anyone. Like how brilliant was that? And so they were outed by our lab actually in October, and I mean, you guys picked it up. A lot of media picked it up, and only to realize that consumers just didn't want it. And so they decided to pause the process of approval, and they just didn't look good as regulators, to be honest. And frankly, I think it's time for regulators to show more respect towards consumers with proper labeling.
I honestly thought that this would be your number one, but it came in number 3, and this was tariffs and counter tariffs hitting our food prices.
Yeah, well, I mean, it made the podium. So, of course, tariffs, and of course, we had counter tariffs on March the 4th of this year. And tariffs are bad for the economy.
Sure. Grocer Code of Conduct takes effect, I think, January 1st, right? That came in at number 2.
Yeah, this is an obscure policy. I have great hopes. I think it's going to help consumers over time by stabilizing prices and protecting processors. A lot of farmers in the Atlantic do deal with grocers, and they don't like it. They have too much power. So the Code of Conduct will level the playing field, helping farmers, helping suppliers deal with overpowering grocers. So hopefully it will stabilize prices for consumers.
And the number one item on your list was structural food inflation. Structural food inflation.
Well, I mean, last year, greedflation was the number one story.
Sure.
But this year, greedflation, we're still hearing about, people accusing grocers of greed. But what I'm feeling right now, Bruce, is that more and more people are starting to question structural issues like interprovincial trade barriers, like labor laws that we have in Canada, like the carbon pricing policy that we have in Canada. All of the logistics, ports that we have. Are these things making food more expensive? And I think people have started to question other things than greed, which is certainly a good thing from a policy perspective. And that was our number one choice because it impacts food prices and food affordability.
And will for the future as well. Sylvain, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Sylvain Charlebois, the Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, perhaps better known as Canada's food professor, joining us tonight to run through the organization's top food stories of 2025. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Health and medical news tonight, protecting your mental well-being during these big holiday get-togethers over the next couple of weeks. Suzette Beliveau has more in tonight's Lifeline.
As we inch closer to the holidays, you may feel excited, but also a bit overwhelmed, or you may feel concerned about getting together with a friend or family member who has different views or is on the opposite end of the political spectrum. So this time of year, experts say it's especially important to protect your mental health.
Boundaries are really important for maintaining and protecting our peace.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says setting a boundary isn't about creating distance. It's about staying connected, but with healthy limits. She says to be proactive and use clear language to set a boundary before they get together in order to avoid conflict and keep that message consistent. It's the season of giving, but health experts say some gifts can come at a dangerous price. Dr. Maureen Almond says if you're buying gifts for young children, the first thing to stay away from is anything that has a button battery in it. And if the gift must have a battery, Almond recommends only buying ones that need a screwdriver to be opened. Next, she says avoid toys using artificial intelligence.
Currently, there's some toys that have AI features that will have conversations with the child, and this could obviously be very dangerous.
Almond says she also sees a lot of injuries from motorized vehicles like electric scooters or bikes, so she urges caution if they are on your child's list. Finally, she says to avoid giving young children toys with small parts or anything that can break off. With health and medical news, I'm Suzette Beliveau for the Lifeline.
the scene now with Katie, and a holiday tradition returns this weekend.
That's right, Bruce, and this one is a family affair. We stopped by Reenie's home studio where rehearsals are underway. Well, it's just a couple of more sleeps till one of the most exciting traditions happens here in Nova Scotia. It's Reenie's Family Christmas. It's been a while you've been doing this, Reenie.
Yeah, I think we've been doing it now for maybe 6 years.
Wow,
Yeah, so.
awesome. I've got to witness it myself. It's so much fun. Tell the people what they can expect at Reenie's Family Christmas.
Well, you can expect a lot of my family. My family's very musical. I grew up learning how to play instruments, and my mom and dad are both musicians. So you can expect to see them, some of my siblings, some of my cousins, and a couple special guests that we're bringing in. So, you know, one thing we also pride ourselves on is a lot of laughter. We're a very funny family, and I'm sure that will be on full display. So come out and hear some good music, get some good laughs, and, you know, bring in the holiday season.
You mentioned how musical your family is, and I mean, Reenie is not kidding. They're pretty much all award-winning musicians, including cousin Micah Smith, who is also here. Micah, how you feeling about this Friday night?
Not well rested. Excited to meet all the party people at Monty's. Very excited, though. This is one tradition that I do not want to get rid of ever.
Yes. Well, I mean, you guys, and of course your sister Haley too, perform with David Miles and Matt Anderson and like all these huge names. It's a little bit more fun though, just being chill with the fam at a place like Monty's.
Yes and no. It's a little scary with the family.
What? What do you mean?
There are no rules. There are no rules. And so we're
Anything can happen.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what to expect. My dad always tries to steal the show, and I don't know what form that will present itself in.
Right.
So we're always on the edge of our seat trying to figure out what is exactly going on.
Okay.
Come expecting.
Yeah.
Expecting
the thing.
the unexpected?
Expecting the unexpected.
So dear Santa, you can skip by my chimney.
And Reenie, what kind of music? Obviously Christmas, but lots of classics, some original.
Yeah, some classics, some original. Our spin on some of the classics. You know, we have our sound, that's for sure. So you'll hear reimagined classics in the Smith way.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, well, this is not something you want to miss. It's Reenie's Family Christmas, and when I say family, I mean family, and it's going down this Friday night at Monty's. I'll see you there.
See you there.
Love you both.
Love you too.
All I have for you is my drum. Pom, pom, my drum, yeah.
She is so great, eh?
She's amazing. If I had to join another family, it would be the Smith family. They are my family. So much fun. And I was just watching, and when Micah said, come expecting, I'm thinking,
yeah, that's right.
I am going to be
Well, look, how perfect is this?
So funny. Yeah,
great.
but I have been to this family affair before, and it is a time. So be at Monty's Friday night. It's going to be awesome.
I would think. And you want to remind us about a brand new contest?
Yes. CTV wants to send you to see Celtic Woman. From Irish classics and contemporary favorites to classical masterpieces and original songs, Celtic Woman's performances reflect the vibrancy of modern Ireland while honoring centuries of musical heritage. The Grammy-nominated group will make 2 maritime stops next year on their Celtic Woman, a New Era tour, including Casino New Brunswick in Moncton, April 29th, and the Scotiabank Centre in Halifax on April 30th. All right, we're giving away 4 tickets to each of those shows. To enter, scan that QR code on your screen right now, or go to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts. The contest is open until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That's 6 p.m. Thursday. Enter for your chance to enjoy Celtic Woman, a New Era.
Make a lot of people very happy with those tickets.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a great prize.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Here's your primetime lineup. On the markets today, the Dow ended the day down at 228 points. It'll be a new era for the Oscars. YouTube has signed an exclusive deal to stream the Academy Awards in a few years' time. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more.
YouTube takes the reins in 2029 and will live stream the red carpet arrivals, the awards show, and moments from behind the scenes. The Oscars is the highest profile and most watched award show. ABC has had the rights since 1976, but that deal ends in 2028. Starting 2029 and until 2033, American YouTube subscribers will get exclusive access, and so will 2 billion other YouTube users around the world. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar ended the day down at 72.56. West Texas Intermediate is up $1.60 to 56.87. Western Canadian Select is down almost $2 to 41.90. And the TSX lost 13 points to end the day at 31,250. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
Thank you, Mirella. Now we'll head outside to Kaylin on the weather deck. Still windy out there, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely still a breeze around, Bruce, though I would describe conditions as cooler instead of colder, which we had at the start of this week. Just a reminder, though, because we had temperatures above the freezing mark today, there was some melt of the snow and the ice around. A lot of low temperatures tonight are actually headed back down towards or below the freezing mark, so be careful about some icy spots developing during the overnight. Let's take a look at our viewer picture for tonight, and this is a beautiful shot. It's coming in from Wendy Gallant, and it's from Stratford, Prince Edward Island. Remember, the Charlottetown, Stratford area did pick up a decent amount of snow from that weather system that moved past at the start of this week. As for the Stratford area for tomorrow, and Charlottetown, looking mostly sunny with a high temperature coming up to near 2 degrees. Taking a look at our day planner, first thing in the morning, it's clear conditions to start the day. It will be a little bit colder across the northern half of New Brunswick, with morning temperatures in the range of around -6 to -12. The remainder of the Maritimes looking at temperatures in the morning between around -2 and +2. For the afternoon, a lot of sunshine around the region. It won't be quite as mild as it was today, but in a lot of cases, high temperatures are still expected to get above the freezing mark. We've got a lot of highs that'll be around the low to mid single digits, remaining a little bit chillier through northern areas of New Brunswick. Winds will be a little bit lighter compared to today as well. They'll be out of the southwest tomorrow afternoon with some gusts in the range of around 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, Kaylin. Coming up here tomorrow on CTV News at 6, a helping hand. During this season of giving, Murphy's Logic looks at the essential role of the Salvation Army on the front lines of serving the less fortunate, especially during the holidays. That's coming up tomorrow right here on CTV News at 6. And finally tonight, a derelict ship has been sunk in Florida, which is exactly what authorities hoped would happen. The team has successfully managed to sink the old ship, which will eventually become an artificial coral reef. This actually happened last month. The ship, named Barocco, had been in the Miami River for decades, and naturally it fell into significant disrepair. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission successfully arranged to have the boat sink to a depth of 200 feet. There it goes. Commission says the reef will become a marine habitat and enhance local fish populations. That is the program for this Wednesday night. The rebroadcast begins in just a moment over on CTV2 and, of course, CTVNewsAtlantic.ca. Updates right around the clock. I'm Bruce Frisco in for Todd Battis tonight. I will be back with your next local newscast at 11:30 this evening. Thank you for watching this one. Have a good night. I hope to see you soon.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast. Watch live on Crave.